Hi, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is for White House Fruit Farms. What we're doing is coming up with some recipes that take about maybe 5 to 10 minutes to do. Very simple homemade recipes using the White House Fruit Farm products that we all love. So what we're doing today is a homemade applesauce, and it's very, very simple to do. It just requires a bag of apples, some sugar if you like, and some water. Really simple. So first thing that we did, if I could grab the apple, we already peeled the apple, so we're just going to cut it. Just cut it in half, half it again. You can use an apple core if you'd like. As you can see, if you just angle the blade, it makes it pretty simple to just remove the core that way. So I'm removing the core right now, and then we're just going to dice up the apples. It doesn't have to be neat or pretty because they're going to be made into applesauce, so looks are not very important with this. Okay, for this recipe we actually used Braeburn apples that you can get from White House, and if you check out our website and click on the produce link, it will show you some additional variations of apples that would be best for applesauce. So what I've done now, as you can see, I diced up just a single apple, and I already have them in my pot, and my timer's going off now. What I did was I added just 1 cup of water. That's all that you need, and you bring it to a boil with the apples in it. So that's what I did right now, and took about 15 minutes for mine, so depending on your stove and how much applesauce you're making will determine the length of time that you will need to soften the apples. So they look pretty soft. I also added a couple drops of lemon juice and about a teaspoon worth of salt just to help the apples to maintain their color. Okay, so we, for this demonstration, only used a half a peck of apples, which is about 5 to 6 pounds. Our recipe calls for a full peck, but for this purpose we just did half. So we just boiled our apples with a half a cup of water and the half peck of apples. Now they are soft. It took about 15 minutes on medium heat. So now we're just going to use a regular masher, or you can use a food processor, or anything that will mash the apples up. So we're just going to mash these up, and they're very hot still, which is exactly what we want. It'll make it easier to mash. If you wait till they cool, they won't mash quite as well. You can, depending on your preference, you can mash it into a complete sauce, or if you like it to be a little chunkier, you can do whatever it is that you enjoy. But we're actually going to make a very smooth sauce, so I'm going to mash quite a bit here. And again, it took just about 15 minutes of the boiling. You do want to make sure that it's covered while you're boiling to maintain the heat. And make sure that the apples get nice and soft. Okay, YouTube only gives us about 10 minutes for this, so what we're going to do is stop the camera, and I'm going to continue mashing, and we'll be right back as soon as the applesauce is all mashed up. Okay, now we've finished mashing, so here's what mine looks like, and I made mine pretty smooth. So the next step is to add sugar or any type of sweetener that you like. I'm using an 1/8 of a cup of sweetener, so I'm just going to sprinkle it on, and you can use a spoon. I'm using a whisk. Just incorporate that as best you can. Some other things you could use are brown sugar. You could use that in combination with regular sugar by itself. You could add some cinnamon. You could use agave nectar. You could use honey. There's a lot of different sweeteners out there, and you can use whatever you like. Okay, for my cinnamon, I'm just going to start with a half a teaspoon so we don't end up with too much. Okay, so now we've mixed everything together and we are finished. So there it is. So that concludes our applesauce recipe. We're having apple flurry weekends at White House. That's going to go through the month of February, possibly into March. And what they will do for you is peel and core your apples at no charge, which is really awesome. Takes away that extra time of preparation, so you can just get right to it and get your applesauce made. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. So make sure you like us, follow us, all the above, and have a great day. Thanks.